I was saved. I gave my life to Christ in 2006, but I still struggled for that year on still using drugs and, doing all types of things. But I was trying to, quote unquote, get my life together, right? And so I had met a man, and we were in a monogamous relationship. I was only with him, he was only with me. But for the first 6 months, I was adamant about us using a condom. I knew about HIV, but I really didn't know a lot about HIV. In my mind, HIV was a gay man's disease or someone who used IV drugs. And I knew that I was neither one of those. So I didn't feel like I was at risk, right? So again, for the first 6 months, I was adamant about us using condoms. But, as a woman, I got comfortable with him, and, I felt like I could trust him. And he was very adamant about not wanting to use condoms. And so around that 6 month mark, I gave in. And of course, we started having sex without condoms. Now, about maybe the 11th month in, I happened to be walking down the street in Buffalo, and there's a place called Group Ministries, and they do testing in there. And I used to go there also for like counseling for my drug addiction. And there was a lady outside, and she stopped me and she said, "Hey, Dawn, you want to get tested?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm good," because I had just been tested, almost a year to the day. Because when I would get my annual visit, when I would go to get my pap smear and stuff, I would get an HIV test, and I was negative. So I didn't feel the reason or the need to get the test. And I was like, "No, I'm good." And she was very persistent, and she was like, "Come on, I need to get my numbers up, and I'll give you a free gift card if you go get tested." So finally I was just like, "Okay, whatever. I ain't worried about it. I'm going to go get tested."
Right.
And this was the first time ever, whenever I had gotten an HIV test, that I wasn't nervous at all. Sis, I wasn't nervous. I was like, because there's
Mm,
nothing for me to worry about, right? I'm in this
right.
monogamous relationship. We use condoms for the first 6 months. I'm not doing nothing. I trust and believe that he's not doing anything.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, that was the day that I tested positive for HIV.